Welcome to our I Am Workshop Conversation Series, a transformative journey designed to inspire self-discovery and ignite your creative spirit. With your hosts, Anna Maria Davalos, Maria Lanes, and Maclovia Martel. Today's guest is Soyeon Yi, the first Korean astronaut to fly into space. Soyeon, thank you for being here. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to talk to you guys also.
Oh,
Thank you.
This show discusses transformative experiences that have shaped and inspired us on our journey in life. What experiences have shaped you on your journey? It could be one, it could be more than one. I'm sure there's a lot.
I cannot pass the moment that I've been in space because comparing with the other astronaut, my flight was only one time in 2008. So yeah, that moment totally kind of upside down of my whole life and change it.
I mean, to be in space and be the only Korean woman or Korean, I mean, what is that like?
You know what? I would never imagine or even dream to be like that. I cannot even dare to dream about it because I grew up in Korea 1980 and 1990. At the time, we even didn't have a space agency in Korea. So going into the space or that kind of things just on the movie or just kind of like a story of the totally other countries thing, like the US or Russia or China, only those big, huge countries can do it. So I cannot dare to dream about to be an astronaut, but it was happened. Yeah, happened. Yeah, in my late 20 and early 30. Even if I apply for an astronaut selection process, I would never imagine that I can make it even to the final stage. And I just thought like I just want to join the very historic moment of the Korean science and technology history. And all of my friends and me, we are in engineering school, and we wonder about what kind of people will be an astronaut and how they select the astronaut. And I concluded that once I join it, it would be simple to get that answer rather than because at the time we didn't have a YouTube. I know how old I am, but yeah, at the time we didn't
No
have
internet.
YouTube.
We're
Yeah,
much older.
Yeah, we didn't have a chat GPT, and there's nowhere to ask, and barely have a NASA website and Korea Space Agency's website and kind of like that, but it's a very limited information. And we didn't have any astronaut who have been in space before in Korea.
So you couldn't ask, you can say, so what's it like?
Yeah.
You can't ask that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot ask anyone.
Yeah.
So among my friends, yeah, maybe best way would be to join that. And as far as we can go, right before the elimination, you might know an answer. And even if I will be eliminated, I can be a friend of the who will be the final.
Right.
Then I can get an answer from them.
You
as
will
a
be
friend.
associated. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And how
So-
many people were there?
Yeah.
How many people were there in the group of trying to do this?
Yeah, there was a 36,000 people who applied at the very first stage.
6,000. And were they all men?
36 or
36.
Yeah, 36,000.
36,000.
And you were the only woman that was applying, or there were other women?
No, there was a group of the women. Until 30, we have a 3, 4 women. And when we have a final 6, there was a 2 women, including me. Yeah. So yeah, quite number of the women are there. And then that was very interesting because around the late 90 and early 2000 was kind of like much improved for the gender equity and like that in Korea because as you all knows that Asian countries are very male dominant and not that many opportunity for the women. So we just accustomed to do it. And I always working with that. And when I was in the mechanical engineering department, among the 120 classmates of mine, there was only 2 girls.
Wow.
Yes, I lived in that kind of environment.
That was the environment.
Yeah, that was the environment I would live. And then, yeah, when I answered the phone in my lab, and everybody asked me to transfer to the male, no matter what kind of job I have, no matter what kind of role I have. And then, yeah, they said, I would love to talk to the researcher. And then I answered, I'm a researcher.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean the male researcher.
The male researcher.
Yeah, yeah. So that kind of experience is every day happening. But around that time, and kind of greatest female golfer happening in Korea, and then she got the number one around the world, and number one female figure skaters got the gold medal in Olympic, and then kind of like that. And
Uh-huh.
then we have a lot of female Olympians happen in Korea, and we open to talk about the gender equity at the time. And my department realized that they don't have a female bathroom in the first floor of the building.
So you didn't
Oh,
even have a bathroom. Wow.
Yeah,
no.
yeah, especially in
So-
the first floor. Yeah, that's very dynamic
Yeah.
time around the gender issue. And so many of my friends said that definitely until the final stage, like a 30 or several hundred, they cannot eliminate all women because it's the mood. And my friend said that, yeah, Soyeon, you are smart enough and healthy enough, and then you do workout every day. So maybe you might have a high chance to be final 300 or something. And that's very convincing. Yeah.
And how much time was it from the beginning to the end? What was the process?
So selection application was opened 2006 April. And they picked the final two in 2006 December. So it's around the 8 months from the
8 months.
36,000 until the two. Yeah.
And were you really surprised when your name was in?
Yeah, yeah, every single step. And then when they called me, you can come to the interview because I should go to the medical exam. It's a kind of brief medical exam because I became a final first 5,000 out of 36,000. That was surprising. And oh my
Uh-huh.
God, I made a 5,000. And then they called me again. I became a 300. Oh, did I? And then I go there. And then they called me, I became 30, and they told me my names and photos every single newspaper next day. And that was also surprising. And then became 10 and 8 and 6. And even if I was one of the six, I was pretty sure that I will not be the final two because I have my own two final
Yeah.
in my mind. Yeah. And I'm trying to be a best friend of them. They called my name on the Christmas day of 2006. So yeah, I still remember. They had a live TV show to pick the final six out of final two out of six. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. live show on the main TV channel in Korea. And finally, at the end of the show, they call my name with my male colleague. And then that was a huge shock to me. Yeah, I cannot
That's
believe it
like
at the
the
time.
best Christmas
Exactly.
ever.
Yeah,
And your
that's my best
family,
Christmas ever. Yeah. My
your
mom and
family must
dad,
have been excited.
yeah, yeah. I invited my mom and dad on the TV studio and they were so excited. No, 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 no. They were not. Yeah. They are watching the TV because I told them it will be the televised
Mhm.
live TV show. And then my mom take the photo of the TV.
Oh, oh.
That's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, that was really, really kind of yeah, it's a merriest ever Christmas to me, yeah, in my whole life. Yeah.
And then what happened? As you win, you become
You were
famous.
you were you had some Russian cosmonauts also that you went up there with, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, after becoming a two, I should be an employee of the Korea's Aerospace Research Institution. At that time, they are acting space agency. We didn't have a space agency even until then. And they told me you should be employed to our employee researcher because we should dispatch you to the Russia to have a training as
Mhm.
an employee of the Kari. And but I was in the middle of the PhD. And we should find a way how to do that because they don't have any policy and any process to hire the active students as their employee. And then yeah, everybody's not ready at the time. So many chaotic things happen, but anyhow, we figured it out how to do. In a month or two, we tried to make it up everything. And I should have talked to my PhD advisor also because I was almost end of my PhD program, but I should pause and go to the Russia.
Uh-huh.
And that was also a huge concern because even I became a final two, still only one person will fly. But I invested more than half of my life to be PhD and then to be a researcher and to be a technologist. I cannot give up. because there's no guarantee that I will
Yeah.
fly. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
cannot fly, I cannot guarantee my job after also.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
So there's a lot on the line. There's a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we are the real person, and then I can be exciting for one day for being a final tour. But as a person who is in a late 20 and early 30, you should think about how can get your job and how's the security of your job and how you kind of maintain your life. And then I was not from the rich family at all, so I needed to pay monthly rent and monthly tuitions and every kind of thing. So I cannot be just exciting after that. Most of the Koreans and most of the people around me, they were sure that he will fly rather than me because I'm a female. And
Uh-huh.
all of the Korean general publics and then people around me, realistic people around me, think, yeah, they just pick the woman because make the general publics feel okay, and
Uh,
they are kind of equal to the older gender. But finally, they will pick male, and then that was happened in 6 months. He will be the primary. I became a backup. It was pretty much clear, and then all the Russians even treat me as a backup all the way from the first because they never think a female will be the primary. I still remember even several female NASA astronauts who had a training with me in Russia, and they told me like, Soyeon, we know you are so good, and we know you are qualified, and maybe you are better than him, but in real world, it's not ready to pick the female as a first. So you should be prepared. And
Oh,
at the very first time when I heard about it, I feel a little bit disappointed because even same female make me disappointed. But they told me as a sister, like, no, 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 we don't want to disappoint you. We want you to be prepared because you are my sister. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and you should be prepared and you should be kind of ready to take the real world to in your life because you are living in a kind of cloud in a school because whole my life until then was a students and then yeah, undergrad student, master student, and PhD student. So yeah, so I feel so thankful to those female NASA astronauts and they shared their experience also. Even in US something happened among the female and male and they try to help me to prepare for every single kind of not that pleasant situation and they support me a lot and yeah but finally just 2 months before the launch Russians strongly recommended me over him and at the
wow.
very first time Korean government registered they want really to fly the guy rather than me but finally they changed their mind and then I became a primary a month before launch
Wow. But
and
it was because of the Russian recommendation, right?
you're right
Uh-huh.
and
Interesting.
but under the contract Korean government has power to decide who will fly the Russians
Mhm.
are just recommend so at the very
Mhm.
first time they said we want him to fly rather than me and then even yeah, now it's almost 20 years past, so I can tell you guys, but I tried to keep secret for a while, but some of the Korean high official called me and tell me like, Soyeon, you should go to the Russian official and then you feel scared to fly.
Oh, because
Oh
they
yeah.
didn't want
They
Oh,
you.
do that.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because they really want him to fly rather than me.
Right.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah,
they try to make you scared,
Discouraged. No, they just
just
didn't.
discourage you.
It
Discouraging.
was
And
yeah,
it was
just
an
to try to
excuse.
discouraging. And then,
That,
yeah, they didn't tell me directly, but they give me some kind of hint.
Like, yeah,
We
aren't you
will
scared
work
to
with you
fly?
after your return. So you should listen to us. And then kind of like that. And then they just know that I really want to fly. So they want me to pretend I feel scared to fly, kind of thing in front
uh-huh.
of the Russian official.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want to lie. And of course, I tried to be a nice and obeying woman. And I have been educated like that for a long time in Asian and Korean culture. But in that moment, I cannot do it. So I
Right.
said no. And their reaction is kind of like, how can you dare kind of thing. But I really want to do my best to make it happen. So yeah, I knew already because several friends of mine in Russia, and then I became a really good friend of my trainers and my instructors, and then kind of cosmonaut colleagues, that they are best friend of mine, and they already give me the hint. And then Soyeon, we recommend you over him, so you should be ready. And I said,
Uh-huh.
don't tell me, I don't want to biased. And then my boss is not you, and then my boss is in Korea, so I should wait for until they order me to be a primary. So I had a hint. But
Yeah.
Right.
when I got the phone call from Korean official, like you should tell Russian peoples like that, and then it was really disappointing. And
Yeah. But you
yeah.
had what was your motivation? Did you feel at that moment courage or I have to do it? I mean, what kept you going, saying I have to do it and against all these men that wanted somebody else?
You know what? I in those kind of chaotic situation, I always try to be down to basic. I just try to follow my training and then do my
Uh-huh.
homework and then
Hmm.
working with my instructors. I did my best to not to disturbed by those kind of noise.
Right.
Hmm.
But
So
they
you were
You
hate
being
didn't
it.
do anything.
authentic. You were being authentic to yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
really want to be authentic to myself.
Mhm.
And
Hmm.
yeah.
That takes a lot of strength,
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
it was
strength
hard.
and
Yeah,
courage.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to
Courage
put,
and vulnerability because you were in both sides, right? I
Mhm.
Yeah,
mean, like,
you know what? At the time, I told my friends like, you know what? I feel like I'm in the middle of the Typhoon, kind of like a quiet place in the middle of the huge Typhoon, and then you are in the really quiet place, but all others are crazy rotatings and then up and
Mhm.
down. And
Mhm.
because I was in Russia, nobody can talk to me in person, just calling me. So if I didn't answer the phone, but they keep calling me, and then every single journalist and then government officials and then because some of the journalists could feel some kind of hint of that they got some rumors. They really
Mhm.
want to know ahead of time. So
mhm.
several of them keep calling to me and my agent both also tried to calling to me and then yeah, thank God my direct boss, he was really good and authentic person, and whenever I call him what should I do, and then he always told me like do your best whatever you can do and then just follow the instruction, and once the final decision is happened I will let you know, so don't be distracted by any other people, and that was a huge support to me.
That helped you a lot. And can you tell us a little bit when you how was your flight?
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
was
I can't wait for that. I mean, what
yeah.
did you feel? I mean, it's okay, you made it and now you're up there.
Yeah, thinking about that time, every single step was not normal and was not smooth at all. So I became a backup and finally changed to the primary. And just a month to until the launch. And right before the launch, we had some kind of little accident of my commander's spacesuit. So almost canceled the launch, but finally we made it.
Okay.
oh my God, there was drama every
Yeah.
step.
Yeah, every step. And then, yeah, because among the female, you guys know that I really want to try to avoid my period during the
Mhm.
flight
Right.
because my flight is only 11 days. So you can avoid it because it's
Mhm.
less than a month. And I talked to my flight surgeons and then OBGYN during the training. I told them whenever big event happen, I got period, no matter what time it is.
Oh
Even if
my
a
God.
week before my period is over, but you know what? I had a period during my SAT exam. I had a period with my college interview.
It's good
I
luck.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
whatever nervous situation happened, it's a
yeah.
broke up. So I knew. Then space flight is the biggest ever event in my life. So I
Mhm.
was so worried. So I told my flight surgeon, I really want to avoid it because I knew if I didn't do anything, I might have a period on the way. And then they said, yeah, even if it's not in the middle of your period, don't worry about. No, no, no. I had an experience from in my teen. Every single biggest time I got that. And they said, okay, okay. But you know what? You should talk to the male doctor, every single thing.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, we talked with that. And then finally they prescribed the birth control pill. Then you can
Mhm.
avoid it as far as
Okay.
you take it. So I take the birth control pill several months before to move my period. And then
Mhm.
we
Uh-huh.
make sure during my flight was not in the period. But there was a miscommunication between the people who stacked the cargo in my capsule and my commander and engineer. But all the medicines are in charge of my commander, not to me, even if my personal medicine. But my commander cannot find it for 2 days. And then once you take the birth control and you just stop it right away, you have a period. So I
No.
have a whole
Oh my
time
God.
in space flight had a period.
No.
Oh my God.
And normal period is kind of like a 4, 5 days for me. but zero gravity. So
So
blood comes out only with the gravity, but you don't have a gravity. So your period elongated to
no.
flow all the
So
blood
instead
down.
of a
So the
week, it can be
whole
2 weeks.
time?
Yeah, it's almost whole time except the last 3, 4 days. Yeah.
Oh my
But
My
thank
goodness.
God
God.
I didn't have a period on the way back. But anyway,
Mhm.
yeah, so every single step was not smooth.
But for how long were you on space?
11.
11 days. So 2 days.
Okay, so it was not
And
like a month or 2 months
it's not.
that's
Yeah, it's not.
okay.
So 11 days. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If it is the month or 2 months, I didn't care because anyway, I should have a period during that time. But
Uh-huh.
it's only
Right.
11 days. So I really want to avoid that. But yeah, it became totally opposite way.
Oh
Well, did,
my God.
but you still got to enjoy being
Yeah,
up
of course,
there.
of course.
Yeah.
That was the most fascinating thing.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that every single astronaut they feel so exhausted and hard when they get to the space because more than 90% of astronauts should have a motion sickness. And zero gravity make you have a back hurt and make you have a headache also because
My
all
God.
the blood is doesn't go down and then
Mhm.
Goes
stay
up.
in your head and heart.
Hmm.
So your brain pressure is higher than before. So you have a headache a little bit in the very first several days during
And
the
you can't get out, and you can't say, I'm
yeah, you can't
leaving.
get out.
No, you
Yeah.
go into the.
Yeah, you should just bear
I'm
it.
leaving.
Yeah, you should just bear it.
So
And
did
then
you
the stuff,
did you have that?
yeah, I had it. And then I even had a more serious back pain than any other astronaut because I was a relatively younger astronaut.
Hmm.
So my body elongated more than other.
Mm.
So my commanders and engineers, they got kind of quarter-inch of their height because your height is always shorter than your original because the gravity
Yeah.
pushed you down. But once you go into the space, there's all gone, so you grow up.
Oh,
And most of the astronauts, they got a quarter-inch or a half-inch, but I got total inch.
Oh, one
So
inch?
literally my trousers are shorter. I can show my ankle. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can feel it. I became taller. Yeah, physically. And that means somebody stretch you inch physically.
oh,
Then your muscles and nerves are so painful for
of
first
course.
It
1, 2 days.
must be like growing pains or
Yeah,
something.
growing pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing
Yeah.
pain.
That's like a torture, you
Yeah, it's
know?
like a torture. In 10 minutes, you became a 2 inch higher, taller.
And
Yeah.
Well,
can
it
you
sounds like
take
a dream to
something?
me, but you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Me too. Me too. So right after arriving, I have a crazy back pain. I got to know I got an inch because one of my colleague astronaut, Garrett Reisman, he's also a short astronaut. Right after arriving, he dragged me to the somewhere and then checked my height and asked me, "How much did you gain?" I got, "Oh my God, I got an inch!" And he said, "That's why I became an astronaut." And then we just looked at each other, and everybody got that. And oh my God, I got the height with that kind of pains. I really wanna get it. So I went to the Peggy Wilson. I still remember I went to the Peggy Wilson. She's my commander during my flight. And then, Peggy, can we get just a milli or 1/10 inch after getting back? And because she it's her third flight, so she already knew
Right.
it. And then she said, no, 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 you will go back exactly as you were.
You were.
Russians and NASA has their own medical things, everything up there because they have a continuous astronauts staying over
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
But my case is only 11 days. So if the government doesn't prepare before, it's harder to get it. And then those medicines and healthcare things are very sensitive with diplomatics and kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I had a serious motion sickness, I couldn't have a medicine at all.
Oh my
And
God.
Korean government on purpose didn't bring the medicine to me because it's the side effect is drowsiness. Then you
Mm.
cannot focus on your mission.
Hmm.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
So I
She
didn't
will
have it.
suffer and do the
Yeah.
work.
Can
Yeah.
I ask
Yeah.
you, do you sleep well when you're in
Nope.
space? No?
Nope.
Do you sleep at
Yeah.
all?
Yeah. I slept kind of, yeah, a little bit like a breakout. So I got a secured sleeping time 8 hours a day.
Hmm.
Well, you wake up every single hours and after 30 minutes sleep and kind of 15 minutes sleep because you're still floating.
Hmm.
It's not the kind of sleeping environment as you did.
Yeah.
So But my case is I'm kind of not that picky sleeper. Wherever I go, once I just lay down on the hotel bed, I don't care what kind of bed, what kind of quality, I just sleep well.
You just sleep.
But yeah, but in space, it's different, totally. And then
Oh,
you are
yeah.
just floating, and you cannot be part of the bed, and then you cannot feel cozy inside of the blanket at all, even if we don't have any blanket at all. So yeah, and then whenever your arms moving, whole your body's rotating because sleeping bag is a universal size.
Yeah.
So I'm short and small relatively than any other astronaut. So I move up and down and front and back, keep sleeping. So after an hour trying to sleep, I get out of the sleeping bag and then kind of tie up top and then bottom, make it my height, and
Yeah.
also pulled back to the as much as possible to push me back.
Hmm.
But still, sleeping bag is too big for me. So I
Hmm.
keep waking up in the middle of night. Yeah.
Wow.
When
Wow.
you were sorry guys, when you were working with the Russians,
Uh-huh.
was there at first was it tough working
Yeah,
with
it was. It was. I was totally invisible person at the very first time.
so they dismissed you as a woman?
Yep. Not
But
only a woman, but also Asian and also young.
hmm.
And because it was the Air Force base
Hmm.
and also fighter pilots base and
Hmm.
then kind of high Top Gun of the Russian Air Force is concentrated on that Air Force base. And in the middle of that base, there's a cosmonaut training uh, facility. And when I entered that facility, there's no female cosmonaut candidate at all.
Hmm.
But surprisingly, in a month or two, suddenly one female candidate came out and she joined. And
Oh
that
my
was also interesting observation to me. And then they already had a group of the rookie candidate and then 12 or 13, and there's no female at all. But once I joined in a month or two,
More
one female
hmm.
just getting into the new class. So
Hmm.
it means that she was not in the selection process with them, but she
Hmm.
just coming in. And it was very interesting. I met her, and then I'm so glad to have one more female during the training. And I went to her, even if my Russian is so limited, I asked her, "What made you to come here?" Because I was pretty sure that she applied for it. And she said that my boss told me I should come. And
Following directions.
yeah, she just followed the directions.
Yeah,
So
you have to.
I've never checked it out, but my guess is Russian really wanna matching one female to me when I getting in there. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
And they
and
finally found out how great I mean they supported you
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
later. So
after
they
several months.
so you
You
proved
were so
yourself.
brave.
You
I
proved
mean,
wow.
yourself.
Yeah, but
yeah.
you know what? Even if they treat me like an invisible, was not that hard because as I told you, I already living in that kind of place.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a normal,
Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
a
Yeah, she
normal.
was used to it. I mean, it was not
Yeah.
like you were coming from the United States and being treated like that. And another question, Soyeon, Maclovia was telling me, and Loli, you have a musical background. And how do you integrate this into space? That will be interesting.
Yeah, I love music. And then actually, when I was in middle school, my dream was to be an opera singer. And then I seriously kind of considered to applying for the art school to be an opera singer. But
You're
yeah,
still
finally
young.
I moved to the high school, science high school instead. But yeah, I love enjoying music. I was a choir member whole my lifetime in Korea in church. So I grew up as a choir member even from the primary school until
Mm.
I left Korea. And also, I was a vocalist in my band in my college. So I always live with the music and play the piano. So I was a kind of piano person in my church whole my lifetime until I moved in US also. And yeah, but interesting thing is quite many of astronaut and cosmonaut, they enjoy music. And let me play among these stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter.
Right.
So whenever we met, we have a jam together and then we play our own music instrument, and that was so fun. And whenever I go to the ASC Congress, is Association of Space Explorers Congress, I easily can find a certain number of the music player, and then at some night we always jam together. So yeah, that part of my life actually. And when I went to the space, and there was very interesting campaign we had in Korea. One of the music streaming company at the time was the very dawn time of the music streaming.
Yeah.
As you know, we have a tape and LP and CD and DVD. And finally, we moved to the MP3, but a lot of illegal download happened.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And then
Napster.
and then they come to the streaming service. So
Mhm.
at that time was the very early time of the streaming service. And then that company have a campaign. If the first Korean astronaut, what kind of music and then K-pop recommends her to listen. So they
Uh-huh.
have a voting, but they pick some of them and they give me the USB drive. So that campaign was also interesting. And more interesting part is my sister, and she's also a musician and she loves singing and she played piano much better than me. And she decided to give me the recording of her song in the USB and then give it to me. So she went to the karaoke and she got the tape from the karaoke owner and then she edited it and then she gave it to me as a USB. So during my mission, sometimes I listen to my sister's voice and she sing. It's a really ridiculous song, and then even if she's a good singer, she just sing like in front of me in a shower or whenever. She always follow me, and
Yeah.
even to the bathroom. So when I go to the bathroom for number two, she's in
She's
front of
there.
me with that smell, and then she tried to talk to me even inside of the bathroom. So she's kind of like a baby sister, and then she record a song and then give to me. I listened to that song. It was so fun.
But it made you feel at home.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
That's
Yeah.
that's the purpose of her. She wanted you to feel
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a very fun way how she support me. Sometimes she send me the recording of her dance, really ridiculous and hilarious dance video to me at the time even. So yeah, that was really comforting. Yeah.
Did you take
You-
anything else special to space? You took music. What else did you take? Were you able to take?
Yes, it was really sweet because, as you know, I was backup. So Korean government was sure that he will fly. So all of the things sent by the Soyuz, not by the Soyuz, but by the Progress 6 months ahead, because it's cheaper to ship to the space station rather than with the human. So they sent all the clothings and personal things and everything's sent through the cargo module instead of the human module. And so there's nowhere to put my personal thing even after changing. So I should wear his t-shirts, I should wear his short, but thank God he's not big guy. He's a kind of pretty much same height with me and then same weight with me. So his t-shirts fit on me, his short fit on me.
so you had to
But
wear all his things.
yeah, all his thing. Even aftershave and then lotions, the male kind of guys lotions and everything. I realized that, oh my God, I cannot bring anything because there's no place to put because that is no opportunity to consider for Korean government. So under the contract, there's nothing for me to put on. Several days before I should head to the Baikonur. So I was in a GCTC. And one strange soldier knocked my door in my dormitory, and he gave me this big Ziploc plastic bag. You wanna put whatever you wanna put in this bag, and then we will hide in a Soyuz capsule, and then you will find it in space station. I said,
No.
how can I find it? Your commander will find it for you. He said, I will come back in 2 hours, so you should fill it up, and you can give it to me. I put my little diary because I always have this little size of diary. I always write every night before going to sleep. So I put my diary first and put the several kind of color pencil because I love the drawing in my diaries and kind of like that. And I put the post-it, star-shaped post-it to write the note to everything and put it over there. And small little lotion and lip gloss and family photo, friends photos, and my school envelope, school emblem.
Right.
So in 2 hours, he came back and he taken it, and he told me like, "You've never met me." Okay.
Very secretive.
Yeah. So, but I find that back in the space.
Wow, that's
That
a
sounds like a
story.
movie.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, what a story. And then, yeah, I'm looking forward to find the right person who can work with me to make a Netflix drama or something out of this.
So when you came back, what happened on your arrival and after?
Yeah, we had our biggest ever accident on the way back because when we have a separation between the habitation module and descent module, there was a four pyrobolt should be blow up and then separate, but
Mhm.
only two pyrobolt work. Another two pyrobolt doesn't work. So
Oh
still
my God.
habitation module putting onto the descent module. So huge mass on top of the descent module. So we supposed to come down like that, because of this huge mass, we come down like this. So heat shield is on top. It doesn't work at all because heat is coming that way.
Mhm.
So those habitation modules are burning and burning and burning on the way to the penetrate the atmosphere. So the capsule system got to know we have abnormal situation. So automatically changed to the ballistic reentry situation. So we don't have any control. We should come down like a rock with a parachute kind of thing. So yeah, as I learned from the investigation team after my old flight, and that was one of the biggest accident ever as far as the
Wow.
human survive. But when you are in there, you cannot see outside. You don't know what happened outside. You couldn't even feel scared. You only knows that something wrong. You only
Yeah.
knows that we will go down as a ballistic reentry, but you
And
don't know. You know.
how long did it take you to come down?
So total from the undock to the touchdown is kind of hour and a half. But penetrate the atmosphere is less than a 10 minutes. So
Wow.
those really short time, so many things happen. Even we have a suspicious internal smoke happen. Finally, we realize that it's not a smoke, it's more like a vapor. But we feel like
Scary.
we had a fire inside, and then finally we realize it's not a fire. So yeah, on the way back, it's a totally mess.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
Because on the way up, how
Wow.
long? It's very short. It's only minutes, right? How
Yeah,
long
yeah,
does it take to come
Wow.
up?
yeah. It was really interesting moment. But you know what? Now I was not be killed, and then I know I survived. So I think I'm lucky because you met several astronauts before, and they've never had any accident, and all the things going normal, no matter how many they have a space flight. But I only have a one-time flight, only 11 days. But I had a small accident on the launch and a big, huge accident on the way back. And I got to have a very variety experience.
Oh,
Oh
Right.
my
I
And
think
God.
your
I'm quite
period,
lucky. Yeah.
your
And then
period
also,
want to be part of it. So
yeah, and then
same with you.
also, you know what? That's the best opportunity that you prove you are ready. And
Yeah.
that's the best opportunity that you prove you trained hard. Because
Hmm.
training is necessary not because everything's normal, but because you don't know when you will have
Hmm.
an emergency situation.
Hmm.
So, yeah, some people told me like you are the most unlucky astronaut ever because you only have a one-time chance, but you have a biggest accident. But in the same time, I realized that I'm the luckiest astronaut ever. Even if I had that big accident, I would survive, and I had tons of the experience to share. And then many of the senior astronauts who had a more space flight time than me, but they always have a question to me. So
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
You experienced so much. I mean, the whole process from starting,
Hmm.
to ending. I mean, it was a tough road, and you were determined and you did it.
Yeah.
You
So
didn't give up.
I
I
feel
mean,
so
most people
grateful.
would have not. It's
I mean,
hard to
you had
It's
a
say.
lot
like,
of
yeah.
adversity,
Wow.
but you
Yeah.
you have so much courage and strength.
And that's the
Um,
learning.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of nerdy, and that's the kind of my engineering mindset. And as far
Exactly.
as I can try.
Hmm.
And you know what? And also, only because I could do that because I was too ignorant to know exactly what it is. So, thinking about when your childhood time and younger time, right now in my almost kind of late 40 and almost 50, I knew too much. So sometimes I feel so scared to do something. But
Yeah.
when you are in a teen and 20, you don't know
You
how
don't
tough
care.
it is. You don't know how hard it is. You
Hmm.
are brave enough to try.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just go for it. I
Yeah.
mean,
As
Yeah.
you
that's
get older,
so
you're more
admirable.
fearful of everything.
Yeah, we became more
Yeah.
conservative, and then you
Mhm.
feel kind of scared to lose something because
Mhm.
you have too much. But at that time, you have nothing to lose. So
One
Well,
question.
it's liberating, that
yeah,
idea of just,
yeah.
you
One
just do it.
question. Would you do it again if you had a chance? Like they say, okay, in 1 week, would you go again?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Because yeah, sometimes whenever I said yes, my husband pissed at me, and he always told me like, "Soyeon, just pretend to ask me." Yeah, yeah, but I really want to go back again because what no matter how good you did, you always has a regret. You always think, I should have done this. I
Mhm.
And
should have
what
done
would you
that.
do if you went back?
You know what? Even nowadays, I realize that at the time I was way too nervous and way too under the pressure.
Mhm.
As you learned, a lot of the government official looking at me, I was a very naive little girl at the time, and so many schedules are back that back. You know what? Even if I didn't follow the schedule, nobody come to hit me or scold me at all. But I was so nervous, and then, oh my God, how can I make it this? And then, oh my God, it's a delayed 10 minutes. How can I make it up? And then
Right.
every single minute is planned. And then all the people is watching at me and then looking at me, and then whole Koreans knows my names. And then I was so stiff at the time. But so that's why sometimes I forgot to take a photo, even if it's a really cool moment, only because it's not planned to take a photo under my protocol.
Oh,
Yeah, because I was too busy to follow the protocol, so I
Mhm.
cannot think out of the box.
Mhm.
And when you are under the pressure, you cannot be creative.
Mhm.
When
right.
you're under the pressure, you cannot be humorous also. But I'm the kind of person, very creative and humorous and hilarious person. But in whole space flight, I was not Soyeon. I was more like a first Korean astronaut. So I really want to go back to the space as authentic Soyeon and
Exactly.
Mhm.
really enjoy the space flight
With
as me.
all your
You deserve
experience.
it. I think you
Well,
deserve to
yeah, I
go.
think I think you would light up everyone's experience there because when we met you in Seattle, Lolly and I, we were like, she's so great. She's funny. She's got a great sense of humor and
Oh, thank
and
you.
yeah, yeah, the real
No,
real
Yeah,
and
yeah. You
Soyeon.
know
I
what?
mean,
I had a series of the TV interview and radio interview, but I didn't even think of any one joke at all because I was so nervous. And
Mhm.
then should have an interview with a Korean president, and they just keep checking the script every single minute and make sure
What
I
are you gonna
say,
say?
yeah, what are you
yeah,
going to say? And then all the interview with the little kids, I should be so careful not to say any F words, any inappropriate
right.
words to them, and then I was so stressful. So all those kind of interview was not like me when I watch it again.
It's
Here you
beautiful.
can say anything, whatever
Yeah,
you
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 can
were
want.
so,
say
We're
you
anything.
were,
open.
you
Say it
were far
all.
away, and
Say it
you were
all
still
out there.
so controlled. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even if I don't say bad words in normal time, but only because I was so stiff and nervous. I was not natural at the time. And I'm trying to say any kind of discipline words or inspiring words, too much kind of obsessed with it, and then a little bit awkward. And then
Mhm.
all my friends laugh at me when I get back and I look at that. It's not you.
Love it,
and when
love it.
you came back, did you keep your clothes, even though they
uh,
weren't your clothes?
yeah, interesting thing is you cannot bring all those clothes back under the contract because it's all price. So bring it back is also shipping cost. So you can only bring what you wear already.
Oh,
So
Mhm.
all other clothing should be burnt with my
oh, I
habitation
see.
photo.
Oh, yeah,
But
because it's
yeah, yeah. But
gotcha.
we had a copy of that, the exactly same clothing. So I have some of them, including my flight suit. So I had
Mhm.
an exactly same flight suit in space, but not identical one. It's
Mhm.
just same
Yeah.
kinds one. Yeah.
After you came back, are you still like what is your I know you're a biochemist. Are you biochemist? Are you
I'm bioengineering.
so is that something you want to keep doing or is it something that
Yeah, that's really good question. That's really, really good question. You know what? Being an astronaut, having a space flight is the incredible experience.
Mhm.
But after that, I learned huge learning, like nothing free. You cannot take only good thing. Whatever good thing you take, always followed with some bad or not that pleasant thing together. It's a kind of combination, always. It's a kind of like front
Yin and
side and
yang.
back side. If
Yeah,
you have
yin
a
and
front,
yang.
you always have a back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yin and yang. Yeah, like that. I told you I applied for an astronaut almost the end of my PhD.
Mhm.
Interesting thing is my advisor, he's a typical Korean. He told me like, you shouldn't give up your PhD even if you will go to the Russia, even if you will fly to space. And he said that your PhD experiment is almost over. It's almost end of your PhD. So bring your data with you, bring your all the thesis with you to Russia. So during the daytime, I had a training and I did the several hours homework for my training. And at night, at least 2, 3 hours, I did my PhD thesis writing and data analysis.
Mhm.
So I did my PhD and astronaut training together again. I didn't know how tough it is only because I couldn't do it at the time. I finished my PhD 3 months before my flight. So when I was a
Wow.
backup. So we had a week vacation during our training. So I came back to the Korea. But even those 1 week vacation, 5 days is for the training in Korea with the people who developed the Korean space experiment. So we had a 5 day training. Only 4 days vacation is 2 days weekend and 2 days the time with my family. But I couldn't go to my parents because I should have a final PhD defense presentation during that day. So, yeah, it's a really hectic and very tough time. And finally, I got a phone call from my school 2 months before the launch. My thesis was passed and approved by the advisor and then committee. My commencement was the 2 months before my launch. Still, I was a backup, but I cannot go back to the commencement because I was in the middle of the mountain for my winter mountain survival training in Russia.
Oh my
Yeah, and
gosh.
then my mom went to the commencement on behalf of me with the gowns and everything, and she cried a lot because she even couldn't go to the middle school because of she's a woman in Korean culture. As a woman, supposed not to educate in more than primary school at the time in the farming
Wow.
community. But she got a PhD for my
Can you imagine?
for her own daughter. Daughter cannot come because she became the first Korean astronaut. So it's quite overwhelming to her. So she went there. After all the things done, I should have an obligatory contract with the Korean Space Agency. After the space flight, I should serve for them for 2 years.
Mhm.
But after serving the 2 years, it's not still over yet. So I serving for space agency almost 5 years after my contract is over. And they gave me the tenure position or something kind of like that as an astronaut. So cause of that thing, I've never practiced my PhD. And when I resigned from the space agency because I realized that they didn't have any future human space flight plan and they didn't have any kind of good position for my own background because I was not a satellite person, I was not a rocket person. But Korean Space Agency is very focused on the satellite and rocket, and they didn't have any plan for an astronaut and human space flight. So I decided to resign, even if I have a tenure track. I don't want to be just sitting over there without having any meaningful job and roles and responsibility. But I realized that I have a total 7 years blank of my own career after the PhD. So I feel like almost like a woman who had a maternity leave for 5 years after their PhD, but a little bit different situation.
Right.
So yeah, I feel so sympathized with those women because having a baby, make them grow, and it's a really meaningful and then huge purpose, but you feel a little bit empty with your own career.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I went to the space, became the first Korean astronaut, but I spent almost 20 years to get my PhD, but I lost my track and I cannot go back to my career. So that was really mixed feeling. So thank you, Ms.
Yeah,
Sophia,
I can
asking that
imagine.
question. Yeah. Mhm.
But you did your strength, and maybe that was your purpose. One
Yeah.
one question that we always ask: what message would you give to humanity after everything you've been as the first Korean astronaut, especially to women? What message would you give to the world?
We should know how grateful life we have, no matter what. Because yeah, we know the some issue of the gender equity. We know the some issue of the ethnicity kind of equity is kind of at risk right now everywhere around the world, not only in this country. And we know the extreme division between the higher income group of the small little group of the people and then very poor people, even if it's not their fault at all, because of the systemic problem. But still, it's really, really grateful to be born on the earth and having this kind of life. Because when I look down to the earth, especially people like me from the small little country like a Korean peninsula, and then not only whole Korean peninsula, we had half of them, South Korea, and still North Korea is the kind of totally prohibited area. We cannot go over there. And then when you look down to the earth, I realized that I was born in peninsula, but we were living in an island because we cannot go through over there, and that's really small. And then when you fly over to the space station, it takes less than a minute to fly over.
Wow.
It takes a 90-minute whole round of the earth, and your country just passed. Wow, Korea! And then pick it up the camera, and it already passed. You are above the Pacific. And then you ask yourself in your brain, why on earth I was born there? Besides all that big, huge continent, besides all that big, huge countries, and we don't have any specific reason, but we were born there.
Right.
And kids who were born in North Korea, they never choose that place. And then kids who were born in Afghanistan, they never choose that place. And then kids who were born in the middle of the Africa and then kind of killed by the starving, they never pick that place. But we were born under our mom and with our family and with our own system. Sometimes we hate that, but still, we have an internet, we have a Zoom connection, we have a phone. Yeah, so how grateful life we have.
Grateful.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
so
moment when
grateful.
you looked at
Gratefulness.
your inner space.
I realized that, oh my God, I keep complaining about all my life. And because when I was in college, I see a lot of my classmates, they had a better kind of life environment. So they don't have to do the part-time job. They don't have to chasing the scholarship. Even if I'm always busy to find a part-time job and scholarships and all that kind of things, but they have extra time to enjoy their life. And I feel like, oh my God, why I was born in this kind of poverty area and then I should fight for my life. And then, but still, so grateful that the education system gave me a scholarship. The whole kind of humanity became better. So they respected the female more than before because my mom couldn't do it. My grandma couldn't do it. So world became a better and better, even if we are not satisfied yet. And technology became better and better. Sometimes we feel scared of that. So yeah, no matter what kind of life we have, we should be so grateful for that. And then that's
Yep.
very, very blessed life we have.
That's a beautiful, beautiful message.
Message.
Yes.
Thank you, Soyeon, for joining us. We really
you.
are so grateful for you. We really are.
Yes, you are the best. I mean, your story should be a movie, definitely. All
it's
of those things that
courage,
you
Whenever you
went
find the
through.
right person, let me know.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I love it.
Thank you, Soyeon.
Thank
We
you.
will talk later.
See you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.